on Transgender Day of Remembrance, let's think about the children. As if 2017 wasn't bad enough already, it's shaping up to be the most deadly year on record for transgender people. Between October 2016 and September 2017 there have been 325 reported cases of transgender people being murdered, and God knows how many trans people have taken their own lives. It's Transgender Day of Remembrance, TDOR, today, 20th of November. It's when we mourn the trans people we've lost and rage on behalf of the living. In the 21st century, being yourself shouldn't be fatal, and yet today and every day people continue to whip up hatred that gets trans people killed. Trans people aren't just trans people. They're brothers and sisters and sons and daughters, as diverse as any other community. But they're targeted disproportionately. In many parts of the world trans people, and trans women of color in particular, are forced into prostitution, a notoriously dangerous world. Of the murder victims whose profession we know, 62% were sex workers. They're also targeted because of other bigotries, such as racism. In the U.S., 86% of victims were either people of color or Native American. The deaths don't just happen in faraway places or in perilous occupations. Right here in the UK, a trans woman primary school teacher, Lucy Meadows, killed herself after being hounded by the media. And it's not the only case of the media hounding a trans person. Sections of the UK media are running so many anti-trans scare stories it's hard to keep up. The religious right is monstering trans people because it isn't cool to pick on gay people anymore, and they're using the same lies they told about the sinister gay agenda back in the dark days of Section 28. They want to split the T from LGBT because they're trying to roll back equality legislation for all LGBT people. This matters, because these words have consequences. Sometimes they kill. Again and again we're told that anti-trans sentiment is about protecting children. Let's talk about our own children, then. According to Stonewall's latest school report, more than 2 in 5 trans people have attempted to take their own lives. 64% of trans pupils are bullied at school. 4 out of 5 trans pupils have self-harmed. Today is Transgender Remembrance Day, here and number 039, S How You Be an Ally. Trans woman says she does and number 039, T need to tell one night stands about her past. There's now a makeup line for LGBTQ and trans people. And yet organizations such as Mermaids that try to help young people are repeatedly vilified by people urging us to think of the children. Which children? Being trans isn't a trend. It isn't a fad. There have been trans people for as long as there have been people. But the culture has rarely been so vicious or so toxic towards trans people, and those words are making the world a dangerous place for trans people. I was lucky. This trans kid got to become a trans adult. Transgender Day of Remembrance is a bloody reminder that many kids aren't so fortunate. More, 100 Days of Trans, what I've learned since coming out as transgender. More, why coming out as trans doesn't make me brave.